Dan Peña, Mexican-American business mogul, once said, no, he actually says it a lot, once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Welcome to McBain Moments. Alright, before I get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Your fear is what holds you back in anything and everything you do. And if you think you don't feel fear, you need to look yourself in the mirror. The anxieties that creep into your life, the inadequacies, the lack of ambition, these are all predicated on fear. You're afraid someone's going to notice the mistakes you make. You're afraid someone's going to criticize you. You're afraid of the success you can get. That's the biggest fear most people have. They're afraid of success. They're afraid of the trappings of it. They walk into a hotel and they see the fine furniture at a $200 a night hotel and they're like, oh, I'm going to dirty this if I touch it. But you can't let that hold you back. I'm too old. I'm too young. Well, that latter one, once you're over 18, that's the important part. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm disabled. I'm not able to comprehend. It's too hard. Let's take that. Let's deconstruct that for just a minute. Nothing is too hard. It's the amount of effort that you want to put into the goal you have set for yourself. And it doesn't matter what that goal is. If you want to climb Mount Everest, you will climb Mount Everest if you put the effort forth. Now, Mount Everest is a dangerous place. You could die on the way up, but you still climbed it. You maxed out your effort and you overspent. That can happen. That is a life or death situation. But if Mount Everest isn't the goal, why the hell are you afraid of anything? If you want to be the CEO of the company you work for, put the effort forth to do it. Does that mean you'll be selected? No. But it's a lot better to choose a goal that's way the hell up there and miss than just choose a little goal. Maybe you'll make that goal, and then what do you have? And true, you need to have intermittent goals in between. That is not to degrade upon having the steps laid out as individual goals. Your big goal has to be big. That's the pie in the sky. That's the grand quest. And you can't be afraid to set your grand quest out of reach, because that's what's going to drive you to push toward it, to figure out how to reach it. For a lot of people who watch my content, that's going to be being a professional YouTuber or a video gamer. That's going to be joining one of the famous teams, the esports teams. Esports didn't even exist 20 years ago. Okay? And now you can make a boatload of money off of it. Go claim some of it. I don't care if you started on the Atari 2600. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're incapable. I just found myself grinding Fortnite for the first time last night. I'm 35. I know I don't have the reflexes of some of the younger kids on the esports teams. Doesn't matter. I have experience, I have grit, and I have a lot of learned dirty tricks from GoldenEye. Doesn't matter where you're starting. It doesn't matter what your history is. You can make it. And there are going to be mistakes that shut out certain things. And if you made those mistakes, take responsibility for it and understand why you can't do it anymore. You know, if you defaulted on federal loans, you can't work for a lot of federal jobs. That's on you. Just like it's on me. I made mistakes. There are now things I can never do. I take responsibility for that. It doesn't mean I'm going to give up on life. Own the mistakes you make. Even own the things you're not at fault for. And then redirect. Push the fears aside. Tell them to take a hike. Hell, see your fears in your mind's eye and tell them to fuck off. Just like that. And then figure out what you need to do to claim what you feel that you want. What you really want. But keep in mind, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be work. You're going to have to get there. One rung at a time. One step down the path, one brick at a time. You're going to have to build the structure around you in order to achieve the goal which you have decided you want to achieve. And it might be indirect. You may want to work for company A or be on team A, but to do that, you need to prove yourself in team B. But that's fine. That's a step along the path. And you know what? You may change your mind the direction you want to go. You thought you wanted to go toward path A, and you're like, you know what? I kind of like this other idea better. It's no smaller. It's just a different direction. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you make that choice, you have to accept responsibility for that too. That's what's going to get you there. And no matter what you do, never, ever, ever stop grinding. Never stop walking down the path. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one task at a time. If you're a gamer, it's one round or one game or one session at a time. If you are a salesperson, it's one call at a time. If you're in customer service, it's one customer at a time. If you're trying to build a table, it's one board at a time. Doesn't matter what it is. You break it down into little things, and you can accomplish them one step at a time. When you become fearless, life becomes limitless. This has been a McBain moment.